Week 6, recovering a sense of abundance. That's the topic of week 6. And it flew by. Did I do everything? Absolutely not. It seems to be the theme of this second wave of the artist's way for me. And I'm okay with that. I think that having less time to do these things and allowing myself to show up in the artist way project is something that I needed to be okay with. And I found myself making it easier to break a lot of other self-imposed rules. Recovering a sense of abundance, Julia has us really relating abundance, money, to our belief system, our higher power. She uses the word God here a lot. But you can, like I said a billion times before in the other videos, use whatever term aligns with you the most. And this is important. I highlighted a few other things that I hadn't highlighted the last time that I want to share. Per usual. Let's see. So I think because she's definitely coming from the approach of the Christian God, that she writes this. She says, this week in your morning pages, write about the God you do believe in and the God you would like to believe in. I love this due to it's obvious. I think it's so obvious. If you're on my channel, then you're more than likely someone who believes in a plethora, a mixed bag of higher beings. So you've already taken that permission for yourself. And that's the beauty, I think, of alternate spirituality, of witchcraft, of whether you consider yourself pagan or not. But you know what I'm trying to say. The beauty about choosing a deity, god, goddess, energy, beings, or feeling like they're choosing you, whichever way it works for you, gives an empowerment, especially if you were raised in, the cult of Christianity. It gives you an empowerment that you could not only have never received there, but that was stripped from you there. It's a reclaiming. The fact that this is about finding your creativity, for the blocked artist, but it takes you on this type of conversation is what makes the artist's way so good. I just got out of the gym and I'm like, I gotta do this video. 1, so it's out on time. 2, so it's out, period. And so I could feel like I'm on track, because I feel like I've been running. I already did an extra week. I stretched shit last week, right? For week 5, I did 2 weeks. And then now I feel like I'm a day behind. And I'm like, we're going to get into a whole other, wait another week. And before you know it, it's going to be Christmas. And I'm going to be like, I finally finished 12 weeks. So we're not trying to do that. But anyways, that's why I also don't have I like to have, like a cute little, glam, colorful makeup, do my hair before I set everything up to do the video for the reviews. And this time I'm like, I just went to the gym and did legs for the first time in 2 weeks. I'm already feeling tired. I don't really have to do anything for the rest of the day except for chores, thankfully. Knowing myself, I am going to still do more than that. And I just wanted to get this done just to check it off. And I'm like, who cares if I look like a hot fucking mess? It is what it is. But let me keep reading from this passage, because I think that it is what makes me like Julia more. The moment I first heard of the artist's way and I heard that God was used, I was like, I don't know. But yeah, it really lends, the way that she talks about it and the way that she continues to ask certain questions and really tries to convince you to live your authentic artistic life. It's just, it's like a hug. It's like a hug for real. Anyways, so she said, write about the God you do believe in and the God you would like to believe in. And for me, that very much in the back in the day, right? Like when I was like 10 and under, it would have been the Christian God, and then the God that I would like to believe in would have probably been like some weird cartoon character looking thing, probably. So that's a cool exercise also. Like if you would want to do that exercise and be like, okay, let me do this from the lens of my inner child or my inner artist or like my 15-year-old self or my 20-year-old self, and then just kind of like trying to put yourself into that state of mind would also be a fun exercise. But okay, I digress. For some of us, this means, what if God's a woman and she's on my side? And I could pick that apart. Oh, I could pick that apart so good. I love that she said, what if God's a woman and she's on my side? Almost like saying God usually is seen as a man and is usually not on my side, is usually a punisher, someone who is harsh, someone who is not going to give me the qualities that a mother would. Just because we tend, or a lot of Christians tend to see God as father, and they refer to him as father figure. Okay. For others, it is a God of energy. For still others, a collective of higher forces moving us towards our highest good. If you are still dealing with a God consciousness that has remained unexamined since childhood, you are probably dealing with a toxic God. Period, girl. Yeah, but I'm telling you. And this week's reading was really short. It was only like 1, 2, 3, 4, I don't know, like 6 pages or so. But yeah, I loved this chapter. It was so quick. But this is about money. And this is about abundance. And I don't think that a lot of people would have thought that she would have started right off the bat just talking about God and what kind of God we believe in. But it all ties it together, right? Because if you believe that the higher power or God or deity or energies that are other than you, maybe even greater than you, if that's what you believe in, are stingy or mean or need you to suffer in order for you to be considered good enough to X, Y, and Z, or if you deal with this, then this, if you even have like that type of bargaining relationship, then it's hard for you to think that amazing, good, great things can happen to you. And I'm not trying to get into the conversation of, you know, dealing with gods that may give you attitudes, because gods, deities, I feel like I'm always having to mention every single thing every time I say that, but I think you get the gist of what I'm referring to. They tend to have their own personalities based off of our perception of them as well. Whether you believe that it's a god outside of you or whether it's an energy that you're intertwined with, our perception is always going to affect whether or not either of those is actually the reality of what's going on. So if you grew up thinking that the only way that you can make money is if you suffer at a sucky ass job, then it's going to be a long shot, right? For any type of God that you believe in to deliver some huge type of change, because it's so far away. So we're trying to lessen the gap, right? We try to lessen the gap by changing the way that we talk about ourselves, by changing the way we view money, by changing the deities, the gods that we interact with that would help us or not punish us in this case to get to close that gap so we can actually do the things that we want to do and hopefully make a decent living off of those and not be in this like continuous lack or poverty mindset. This also goes back into what I mentioned last week about like if you're having like these issues with receiving and with getting more than your share, then definitely work with the sin of greed. I think it totally frames it in a different lens, you know, because we think about money probably first and foremost, but it's deeper than that. And it's also associated to how you receive everything, how you receive relationships in your life, how you receive gifts in your life, how you receive love in your life, how you receive news in your life, how you receive opportunities in your life, how you receive things is deeply affected by your relationship of what it is to give and to take and who deserves it and who doesn't. And you should definitely think that you deserve things first and foremost, right? Not just the bad things either, by the way. Now, the first time that I worked the artist way, I was working with Hades heavily. And I think that he is very appropriate to work with when it comes to this type of thing. So I'm going to read this to you the way that I wrote it, or rewrote it. All I did was scribble out God and write Hades. But this says, "This is extravagant, but so is Hades. Is a good attitude to take when treating your artist to small bribes and beauties. Remember, you are the cheapskate, not Hades. As you expect Hades to be more generous, Hades will be able to be more generous to you." And then she gives examples about how certain artists deny themselves things, and when they stop denying themselves those things, how much their life changes. Oh, okay, so this is one of my favorite exercises she had us do. It's called Money, Madness, and Exercise. And yeah, there's a lot written there because the black was the first time I did the artist way, and then the blue was this time. And this is, all of the exercises are like quick, quick, quick. Don't pause. Don't try to find the perfect time to do them. As soon as you're done doing the reading, just brain dump the first thing that comes once you read the sentence, right? So example number 1, people with money are, what was the first thing that came to your mind? That's what you write down. Money makes people. I'd have more money if. My dad thought money was. My mom always thought money would. In my family, money caused. And then it goes on and on for 20 prompts, all about money. And if I say this one more time, as I've said many other times before, comparing my answers to the first round of the artist way, which was not even a year ago, to my answers now, whoa, really nice surprise. Some answers are the same, but majority have changed. And this obviously tells me that my relationship with money itself has definitely changed. It's such a relief because I pride myself on working on transforming myself. And that could be a little toxic. Like, how much healing can you actually do, girl? Like, realistically, how much healing can you actually do? But yeah, I enjoy, apparently, torturing myself and putting myself through the ringer. I think it's all my 12th house placements. I'm just going to blame everything on that now. I've been deeply, deeply invested in going down the rabbit hole of finding information and also other people with as many 12th house placements as I have. I have 4 12th house placements. And when I first realized that I did, and I was interested enough to study about the 12th house, I was like, that doesn't look good. That sounds horrible. But it explains so much. It explains so much about who I am, what I went through, why I perceived things the way that I did, the experiences that I have, the way people reacted to me, etc., etc., etc. Hence why us witches tend to love astrology, right? It explains a lot of our otherness. It makes a sense of things. And now I've gone on to a different conversation because that's just, you know, that's my 12th houses. My 12 houses. That doesn't even make sense. Anyways, is there anything else I want to share? A lot of the exercises or tasks, because what I just shared with you was an exercise, but then she goes on to give tasks, and she usually gives about 10 of them. And like I said before, I was just going to try to do 5 out of the 10, and that was like me putting a limit to myself. I totally didn't even do 5 this week, so I did do a few of them. There's one where she says pick 5 flowers or leaves. Like, you could press these or whatever, but like the point is, like, if you did this in kindergarten, like, that's totally fine. Some of the best creative play is done there. Let yourself do it again. Like, she's trying to just give you little activities that might remind you of things that are silly, that only a child would do, and for you to be okay with that. I did do that. That was fun. That was cute. And I almost didn't do it, by the way. Then she has one that I put the infinity sign next to because to me, this is a continuous project I've been on forever and it's never ending. And that's throwing out or giving away. She puts ratty pieces of clothing, but I'm including just general things. I am a maximalist. And all of this that you see back here, this is organized. This is organized. This is clean. And I still would have more things. That's my taste. That's how it works. That's my mind, whatever. But there is so much other stuff in the outside of my room portion that is sitting unused for way too long that needs to be rehomed or repurposed or thrown or just even moved. So that's why I put the infinity sign next to that. Let's see. She does have us reread the basic principles, which is on page 3. And then she has us also read our artist prayer again. And to do this daily. I think I want to share with you guys my artist prayer from the first round. Not this one. This one still feels a little too intimate, but hold on. Okay, now bear with me because this is very long. Like, it's a lot longer than I would have liked this prayer to be, especially considering that she has us like read it multiple times throughout the artist way. I'm like, why did I have to make it so long? But it was something that I just wrote nonstop, pen to paper, until it was complete. It felt very channeled. And when I was writing this prayer, I initially thought I was going to dedicate it to Hades only, but then it became a little more general than that. And I don't know, maybe I don't know if that was even anything I should have even shared, because I don't even know if it was helpful. But anyways, Jasmine, stop criticizing yourself. Okay, so here it goes. My artistic nature is but a whisper in the grand scheme of things. It is the dance of leaves and dandelions in the wind, so soft, subtle, but ever present. This vision I thank you for. You who are the painter and the muse, you who are the shifter and that which remains constant. To you I offer my pain, anger, happiness, and all the deep and real emotions that overcome the senses. I offer to you all these things, those categorized as good, bad, ugly, and beautiful, because to you I know they are all equal. To you I cannot offer anything small or big, because all things are both and neither equally. I thank you for gifting me this knowledge, because it has also given me the ability to recognize I can do no wrong by you except abandon you. Whatever I choose to do, with you in mind, it is already blessed, consecrated. You are as much a part of me as I am a part of you. The will I carry, the life force that I feel under this very skin and in the bones, that's you. And reason we both exist is because you willed it and I willed it back. We are one and all. I know that when I trust myself, I really am trusting you. I know that when I feel safe in myself, I feel that way because I am safe with you. As acts of love, respect, and worship to you, I create. I create freely and with joy because you accept all tributes of creation, because they are the direct experiences from creations. To be a creation is to know creation. We were born masters but quickly forgot, and you are here, ever present, from the beginning, and how we remember comes out of our own ability to formulate, to create, and give that expression through creation yet again. And then this is the part where I decided it wasn't Hades specific. I wrote you, as in the you that I had been using in the artist prayer. Then I put a dash, and then I wrote my spiritual council, gods, goddesses, energetic spirits, ancestors, deities, dragons. So everything that I worked with under the umbrella that I had felt gratitude for during this moment and in the past, and even to this day. But yeah, that was a hell of a long artist prayer. The one I did this time around was much shorter, and it didn't feel like, this one felt very poetic to me. It felt like I was almost going to start my own church or something. And the artist prayer that I did this time around was even less than half as short, and it almost felt aggressive. It almost felt like demanding. It was very interesting, and you know, I'll probably share that way later on or whenever the fuck I feel like it. Okay, so before I wrap this up, let's do like the official check-in, which is how many days a week did I do my morning pages, and how was that experience for me? I didn't even talk about the summer solstice. Oh dear. This is me trying to make a real quick video just to get it out there, and then, you know, summer solstice was amazing. It felt, I was talking to a friend and I was like, dude, the last summer solstice felt very fiery and aggressive and like go, go, go and try to do as much as possible. And this summer solstice felt like a lazy summer day at the lake. I didn't even post pictures of it on Instagram. And part of me was like, I should, because aesthetically, like, it's so cute, because everything was like yellow and orange and stuff. And I was like, I kind of want to keep this to myself for now. Maybe I'll post it when I do like a recap of June bullshit post or something. I don't know. But yeah, it just felt so nice. It felt like it was a gift for me to celebrate it in that way, not publicize it, not put it out there. But at the same time, I didn't want to deprive you guys of the beauty of my little setup. It was very little. It was like just a few items that I wanted to charge under the sun. My journal, of course. I did a card pull. I made some sun tea with my freshly, maybe not that fresh. They've been dry for like maybe a week or two officially, chamomile that I grew. Yeah, it was really nice. It was really nice. But the summer solstice happened this week, and that's another reason why I think things felt like they moved really fast. But I did not end up doing all of my pages. I did not do all of my pages. I want to say that I did do better than the previous 2 weeks, though. But I'm also letting myself count pages that in the past I wouldn't let myself count. Like, if I wanted to, like, for example, when I did my summer solstice little ritual pull, this looks so hilarious. Like, what the fuck is this? Looks like a starfish. It was supposed to be the sun. But letting myself doodle and play with the acrylic pens, it was like an artist date in itself, essentially, basically. But I still did like a mini artist date apart from what I did on the summer solstice. I guess that's the second question. Yeah, did you do your artist date this week? I would say yes, I did. I really wanted to create my very first, and yeah, I think that would be my first. I don't think I've done this before. My first surrealist drawing. And I can't believe that I had never even known what surreal art really was until I acquired the Surrealist Tarot. I got the Surrealist Tarot used because I saw like a real quick flip through of a few cards and I was like, ooh, this looks super interesting. I'm just gonna get it used. Who cares? And when I got it in my hands and I started like going one by one, which is the way that, this is what I do with all of my decks that I first come into contact with. That's part of my ritual. This deck was the first deck in my entire life, apart from the Starman Tarot, which is the one based off of David Bowie. This is the second deck that I grabbed, and as I'm flipping through, I am having a very hard time pulling myself away from the image, from the art. And it brought me so much joy. I felt like I was coming home. It was so odd because I'm like, oh, I love art. I see art all the time, but I've never been an art snob or enthusiast or even tried to insert myself in that world because I always thought I didn't have enough time. Who am I? Who do I think I am? I don't even really know if I have time to learn how to draw, let alone draw for this or whatever. And, you know, just putting up all these limitations for no fucking reason, of course, at the same time that I'm thinking we're limitless, by the way. Contradictions definitely exist. But yeah, I saw this deck and immediately fell in love. I was like, this is my art style. Like, this is it. Like, I've seen so much art, especially with all of the beautiful tarot decks that I'm a proud owner of, in association, in relationship with, you know, so much beautiful art. But that deck, it massaged like my heart, my soul. Like, and it's interesting because it doesn't even include bold colors, which is something that, you know, I'm very, why did my brain just totally have a fucking turd right now? I feel like it's, I fucking can't right now. I'm so ridiculous. Yeah, because a brain fart would mean like, you know, poof, right? But it's like a whole turd. And I think it's still, a second one is turtling because things are still not connecting yet. But anyways, I love bold colors is what I was trying to say. You know, I like color coding things. I like the idea of the rainbow. I like seeing all of the colors. It makes me happy. I talked about color in my last crybaby video that I did last week. But so much ums and buts. Yeah, I was like, the surrealist art is my jam. Oh my god, I need to show you some of the cards. I need to, just in case you guys don't have this deck, because this isn't fucking Tarot Tube, okay? So it's very likely that you don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. Or maybe that was a bold assumption to make, because a lot of witches fuck with the tarot. I don't know where that came from. Okay, let's just do a shuffle. Let's just do like a real life pull. It would have been perfect if I would have like done the whole like... I've been rewatching fucking Schitt's Creek, and Alexis is like coming through. I'm channeling her basically. I'm so silly. Okay. King of Swords. Okay. I need to stop. I need to stop. Okay. King of Swords. I mean, what the fuck is even going on? I love that. I love that I can make a story about this part and then this part and then Dali right there. And then this part and this part and this part and this part, or then like only the top half or only the bottom half or only this half or only that half, or maybe all of it as a whole and what everything means together. Or like, why is this person above all of these other beings, people? Like, why does this person look like they have their mouth covered, but at the same time it looks like they're about to slit their lips open, but then there's lips over here? Like, it's just, it's what I needed. Like, it's so hard for me to do a proper deck study and not take either forever doing it or not abandon it, because I lose interest quite a bit. The exception being the Nameless one, which is right up there, only because the moment the Nameless one came into my life was the moment that Persephone knocked on my door. So that's her deck. But so it's not really a deck study. It's a Persephone's walk with her in the path adjacent to a deck study, but whatever. What this deck really gave me, apart from me realizing this is my favorite art style, is it made me pause. When you become really fast at reading cards, really fast at reading the tarot, it's so easy, especially if you're using very similar to the traditional RWS art. It's very easy to just skim over it and not look deeper because you already know what's there, or you're going to assume you know what's there because you've been doing it with those same decks for so long. And this one really makes me think. I think that's all I have to say. You know what? This video is already ridiculously long, and anyways, what was the last question? Did you experience any synchronicity this week? What was it? Yes, I always experience synchronicities. Duh, I'm a witch. Honestly, that's how I feel every single time I read this question. I feel like it's very redundant for me. I feel that as witches, we're always like looking at symbols, looking at signs, you know, looking at omens. So like, but anyways, were there any other issues this week that you would consider significant for your recovery? I did write those down, and those are private, so no, you're not allowed to know. But thank you for sitting here and listening to this. And you know what? I have officially finished the 6th week. We are halfway through, and I am going to finish this bitch on time, hopefully. But I'll see you guys for week 7.